You may know him best for his Grammy Award-winning hit Ridin' that topped the charts in '05, but he's also made some savvy tech investments over the years, including Maker Studios, which was later acquired by Disney, Cruise, later acquired by GM, Amazon's Ring, and now Lyft. Joining us to talk about his investments, including Lyft Grammy Award-winning rapper Hakeem, Chamillionaire, Seriki. Cam, appreciate the time very much today. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
It's clear you know your way around an early-stage investment. How do you do this? Who advises you, and what kinds of things are you looking for?
A lot of it is just intuition. I started a while back, had a lot of interest in getting into the tech space and did a lot of research and was able to find a lot of companies and just kind of found my way. So nobody's really advising me, really.
Oh, wow. You have a knack for finding things that later get bought. Or in this case, in the case of Lyft, go public. How early did you get in on Lyft? And what do you make of both the first day of trading Friday, pretty good day, and then today trading below that IPO price?
Well, Lyft was, I guess, me and a few others, Big Boy from Outkast, Trey Songz. We were excited about investing in something in the ride-sharing space. And it was around 2014, we started getting really excited about it, and we started making the steps to try to get in touch with Lyft. And I think we actually made the investment around 2015. And I had previously done Cruise, which is a autonomous vehicle software company, and was excited about self-driving cars. There was Uber, there was Lyft, and we went and spoke to the founders, and they let us in, luckily.
Cam, are you staying invested in Lyft, or are you exiting?
Excuse me?
Are you going to stay invested in Lyft now that it's public, or will you take that money and put it to work somewhere else?
I'm definitely bullish on the company. I'm in it for the long run. The founders are just special people, and I feel like the management team is great. I feel like there's a lot of potential in the company and the future of what it could do. And I'm definitely bullish on it, so I'm going to keep some of my stock.
Cam, you said, I believe, that you met a partner at Upfront Ventures 10 years ago. You've been in this game for a long time. You also said that you wanted to make more money in investing than you did in music. Have you reached that point yet? And can you share some of the things that you've learned, kind of your pro tips on investing in startups?
Actually, my focus is not necessarily about money as much as people think. There's a lot of miscommunication out there, and people often post articles that I'm trying to be a billionaire. That's not actually the case. I believe that this industry has a lot of, just value in it, and this value hasn't been given to my community. So what I'm trying to do is learn as much as I can, make a lot of investments so I can plant some seeds to help my family, but then also bring a lot of other people in. That's really why I'm here. I feel like a lot of these companies are disrupting the world. There's self-driving cars, there's electric buses, there's wireless charging, and so much innovation is happening here, and people from my world generally don't have access to this stuff. And I just felt like I started on this journey a long time ago. Curiosity brought me here. I was an EIR at Upfront Ventures in LA, which is one of the largest early stage VC funds, and I saw a lot of companies coming in and raising capital, and it just made me want to dive deeper into this world. And now my mission is to try to help a lot more people that look like me get into some of these companies. The companies are acquiring, and liquidity events are happening, and there's a lot of non-accrediteds in the world that don't have access to these companies, and I feel like it's almost unfair. So now I get over here and I start to see deal flow that, luckily the celebrity part of me allows me to get in places that other people can't get to, and luckily that's resulted in quite a few exits.
Yeah, that's extremely cool. I love on your Twitter bio, you say platinum and Grammy Award-winning recording artist, but then you follow up quickly by saying startup angel investor, knowledge seeker, and boss. Are there investments that you wish you had made and just couldn't get to in time?
Oh man, I see it all the time, but that's part of the game when it comes to investment. You got to be okay with missing out on some things. There's plenty of VCs and angel investors out there that can tell you stories about deals that they missed out on, but you know what? I'm a founder first person. I focus on investing in companies that I believe that have founders that have the domain expertise and the hunger and the skills to be able to take a company to the next level. That's kind of what made me excited about Lyft, because I went and spoke to the founders, and they just seem to care a lot more than most people. There was a time when Hurricane Harvey happened in Houston, and Lyft reached out to me and asked me about how could they help. So what we came up with is I would go give $1,000 worth of Lyft credits to any family that needed it. So I was in the water seeing all these families that got impacted by Hurricane Harvey, and then I reached out to Lyft, and Lyft let me put $1,000 worth of credits on every person. And when I thought it was going to be too many, then they were like, nah, keep going. And I just kept out giving out a whole bunch of credits to a lot of families. And that's just like something special you don't see in companies, you know?
Yeah. The founder dynamic is something that's been talked a lot about regarding Lyft, but obviously that would not apply to Uber. Does that make you less interested in them?
I don't know. I just felt like at first I was super bullish and excited about Uber too, but you know, when we made the investment in Lyft, I feel like we made the right choice because the founders, they're just, and the management team, you know, in general is just, you know, they're not as plagued with as much of the negative publicity and, you know, all that stuff that I saw happening. They're focused on taking a lot of the market and not trying to be distracted and you know, it just shows. And I feel like we made the right bet, you know. I know there's a lot of people that are excited about the upcoming, you know, Uber IPO, but me personally, like, I'm long and bullish on Lyft.
I gotta get your thoughts on this brewing debate around more regulation in the tech space. I know you developed and launched this app, Convos, which is essentially a social media platform. When Mark Zuckerberg comes out and says the internet needs new rules, let's start in these 4 areas, you think what? What do you think about what he's doing at Facebook? And I guess what do you think about data and this debate around how it should be guarded or regulated?
I agree with Mark that there definitely should be some regulation, but a lot of times I don't feel like government is best equipped to decide regulation because I feel like a lot of times they're still learning about tech and how it works, you know. I watch the Senate hearings and stuff like that sometimes, and I'm just seeing the questions they ask sometimes. It feels like they need sometimes to get up to speed on the way tech works so we can really find out the best way to regulate these companies. I do think that, you know, privacy is super important. You know, Mark has a responsibility when it comes to Facebook and the things that they do, and he's kind of setting the bar for what happens with a lot of companies that come behind him. But I definitely do feel like there needs to be some kind of regulation on some of these companies.
Can I get your thoughts on the state of the music industry? Streaming services, the fact that music revenue does seem to be growing again, though it's still only a fraction of what it was a decade or 2 decades ago. Do you think we're sort of, that the industry has basically developed a new model that'll now be sustainable?
Man, it's tough when I think about the music industry because I was there during the golden age and saw a lot of the money that was being made from traditional record sales, and now it switched to touring, and then a lot of companies came, tech companies that cannibalized our industry. The unfortunate part is I start to see cap tables of companies that had executives from the music industry participating on the cap, on, you know, ownership in the companies. And a lot of times the artists don't have that same luxury. They're still chasing touring revenue and, you know, trying to get their streams up. But sometimes the companies that are facilitating the streams are owned or, you know, executives have a piece of those companies. And I decided I want to be more on that side of the fence. And, you know, hopefully I can start to encourage a lot of other artists to understand the value of ownership and equity. And you know, so we can create an even bigger business model for our families, you know.
Yeah. Well, a lot of viewers say you need to trademark Chamillionaire for down the road. You got to come back, will you?
I'll be happy to. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, Hakeem, Chamillionaire, Seriki. Camp, thanks a lot. Dow.